The singularities of fate. Those said to have knowledge on certain events that occur in the future and play a huge role in determining the outcome of the shinobi world based on that knowledge. The current members of this unofficial group are only said to contain Boruto, KASHIN, KOJI, and Ada. Each one of these characters have a specific role that they're destined to follow to be able to get to the best possible outcome. KASHIN KOJI is responsible for reading the future timelines with his prescient Shinjutsu to decide what the best course of action is to actually reach the best possible outcome. Boruto is responsible for taking the future knowledge he learned from Koji and apply it to the present to get the favorite outcome. Since Koji isn't really powerful enough to go out there and apply the changes necessary to get the timeline correct, Boruto has to fill that role, in which he's doing pretty good so far. And finally, we have Ada, who's responsible for using her Senragon to analyze current and past events no matter when they occur. This helps KASHIN KOJI evaluate how things are going around the ninja world and to watch out for bad situations, like when she looked in on Konohamaru and the others in Tsunagakure to read the situation. Each one of these characters have a unique role that only they can fulfill, but what Boruto and the others fail to realize, there's another singularity of fate among them that they didn't even realize. Momoshiki, and this role isn't to help save the future like the others. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Wait, before we hop into the video, let me take a second to ask you all to drop a like on the video, as it does help me in the channel extremely. And now that that's out the way, let's hop into the video. So like I just said a minute ago, Momoshiki has taken that fourth spot as a singularity of fate. Now what exactly qualifies you to be a singularity? By KASHIN KOJI's words, a singularity is someone who has knowledge on multiple futures. Therefore, that person has a certain amount of power when it comes to influencing that future to get to multiple different outcomes. They have the power to make the future unstable. To know the future leads to the act of destroying it for better or for worse. It was through these conversations where Boruto became a singularity himself. His influence over the timeline has been noticeable since the beginning of the series, even before KASHIN KOJI was revealed to have been the one behind everything. It's safe to say everything that Boruto has done so far has been for the reason to change the future in some way. We just won't necessarily know what it is until we get more information on what happened in the original timeline. Besides the timelines that were branched off because of Boruto's actions he made during the story, there is two main timelines that exist in the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex series. The timeline that we're focused on right now, and the timeline where Boruto was killed. In the timeline that Boruto was eventually killed by JURA, I want to know exactly what he did and the order he did it in to see how everything was changed in this timeline. Like, did Boruto step in during Code's assault to chase him out of Konoha? Did Sarada assist Boruto in defeating Hidari? Did they even fight Hidari? And what about KASHIN KOJI? What happened to him in the original timeline? But anyway, I digress. It was these conversations and these actions that led to Boruto becoming a singularity. The influence he had over the fate of the shinobi world is clear, but what about Momoshiki? I've been thinking for a few days about some different ways he can be introduced back into the story and have a lasting impression on the main cast. It's no secret that since the ending of part 1, Momoshiki been in the same conversations as Code when it came to relevance in the story. Just to briefly explain, just in case some people may misunderstand, since Code got the brakes beat off him by Boruto, he's lost his presence in the story. He's not able to reach his goal because that consists of him actually defeating Boruto or KAWAKI and feeding one of them to the Ten Tails. He can't beat Boruto, and even if he could beat KAWAKI, Boruto just wouldn't let him get his way. And now we know what happened to the Ten Tails. They evolved into the Shinju. So now he has no control over the Ten Tails either. He initially thought he wouldn't really have to do anything since the Shinju should just devour them on their own. But that plan became dead once he realized devouring Boruto and KAWAKI wasn't on the forefront of the Shinju's mind. So all these factors kind of pushed Code into the back burners of the story. And it was looking bad for Code until JURA gave him a new role to fulfill. So Code's character got a lucky revitalization. And I say Momoshiki is more or less in the same position because his whole character revolved around trying to resurrect Boruto's body. It's been like that since he gave him the karma. So fast forward to like chapter 67 when he was forced to resuscitate Boruto. This obviously put a huge hole in his plans because it took away that opportunity to resurrect through the karma the right way. He shifted gears to waiting until the prophecy revealed itself. This was supposed to make Boruto willingly give up his body, but as we all know, his mental fortitude was stronger than expected. So Momoshiki realized not even him losing everything could make Boruto give up hope. Now with him knowing that, he was forced to take a backseat and just observe everything from the shadows. And this, like Code, put Momoshiki in a weird position in the series. But unlike Code, it's way easier for Momoshiki to gain that relevance in the story by gaining a new role. For one, he's a much more popular character, and two, he has multiple ways to get back in the race. And one of the ways he could do that is through his actions as a singularity of fate. We rewind back to chapter 13, the chapter where we learn how Koji found Boruto and the events that led to them having the relationship they have now, and we look at everything Koji told Boruto in this conversation. I don't think everything that was said in that conversation was covered in that chapter, but to summarize everything that was said, Koji basically told Boruto about his Shinjutsu that allows him to see into the future and gain valuable information that can help them work towards a better future. He told him about the Shinju, Boruto's death, and different ways the planet could have ended already. And through the whole conversation, from what was and wasn't revealed to us yet, Momoshiki had to have been listening from within Boruto. It's true, Momoshiki can read the future himself, but he can still benefit from prescience more than his own Shinjutsu. Like I said in my Shinjutsu ranking video, his foresight ability is inferior to prescience in a multitude of ways. For one, it doesn't let him see multiple timelines, and it only lets him peek into one single person's fate at a time, and it's only in fragments. So yes, it does give him an insight of the future, but prescience definitely provides more clear information. So there would be no way he could predict something big like the emergence of the Shinju. But when you have certain information that only prescience can provide you with, him along with his Shinjutsu becomes 10 times more dangerous. And from this, we're introduced to Momoshiki's new role in Boruto TBV VORTEX. It's still extremely early in the series. At the making of this video, we're only 18 chapters deep, and Momoshiki already had multiple opportunities to take control over Boruto's body and cause havoc if he really wanted to. But for some reason, he remains quiet. Boruto stated back in chapter 15 that he hasn't felt Momoshiki's presence since him and Sasuke had their run-in with Code. There's a pretty good reason for that. The reason for Momoshiki's silence is because he foreseen something that will allow him to gain an advantage over Boruto in the near future. The secrets of the foresight Shinjutsu is definitely weird, because I don't know why Momoshiki couldn't see the events that happened after Boruto quote-unquote lost everything. Did he not foresee Sasuke helping him? Maybe the timeline changed during this point, which interfered with his foresight. Or maybe he can't see past a certain point of someone's future. No matter how you look at it, I believe there's a reason why Momoshiki is relying on prescience right now. So getting back into the main focus, I don't believe there's a way for Momoshiki to achieve his goal of just sabotaging Boruto, meaning him temporarily taking over Boruto's body, terrorizing everyone. Boruto already proven to him how strong his resolve is. There's no world where Boruto gives up his body willingly to Momoshiki no matter what he does. So he has to think smarter. Since he hasn't emerged, or at least tried to during chapter 12 when Boruto was unconscious, or chapter 9 when the karma nearly activated, there's reason to believe he may have something much more dangerous in store. And I believe to achieve that, he's using prescience against them. Momoshiki's influence as a singularity of fate wouldn't be to work towards the better future, but the worst possible future. So in the future of the series, I can see Momoshiki actually doing little things to sabotage Boruto. If he already has knowledge on how things are supposed to go to fix the timeline, I suppose there are things that can be done to make sure the best possible future doesn't happen. You can actually bring this back all the way from chapter 78. Momoshiki helped Kawaki get free from Shikamaru and the others. He needed him to be free and for Ada to find him in order for the prophecy to manifest. Therefore, he by himself acted as a singularity of fate. In this logic, I guess you could say he was the first singularity of fate that was introduced to us, but whatever. So this is how he will continue to act. Whenever there's an opportunity to shift the direction of the timeline in a massive or small way, this is when Momoshiki is going to take over Boruto's body, either briefly or a long period of time. So during this mission, Boruto could be forced to join in the fight, and when that happens, if Momoshiki does something, it's gonna be something that'll influence the timeline in the direction that will result in ultimate destruction. And in this way, he can win in the end, without the chance of Kashin Koji foreseeing his actions. Because of Momoshiki being a singularity of fate, and him being able to create or influence timelines himself, it makes it harder for his movements to be predicted. And this way, he can eventually outmaneuver Kashin Koji and prescience. Let me know if you agree with this in the comment section below. Do you believe if Momoshiki were to be introduced, this would be his new role in the story? And do you believe he can outsmart prescience? And if you do, how do you think he can do it according to the direction of the story? Leave all that in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more like this in the near future, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you know when I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next video, I'll see you boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.